Hey guys, welcome to our second unit. We're going to be talking about lesson 3 today. So I'm going to put the quotient identities and the reciprocal identities up here. We've talked about them, but I want to just like explicitly start out there because we're going to really pull from those today. Okay, so take the time to write these down in your notes. I know that we've talked about a lot of them, or we've talked about all of them. So like here, think about when we talked about, finding our quadrantal angles for the unit circles. So we had y over x to find our tangent, or sine of theta over cosine of theta. So we've kind of just kind of skirted around these identities, but they are called quotient identities, and they're used quite a bit, and we're going to use them today. Reciprocal identities, you guys have seen that before, so we are going to see those again today. Today's lesson, you are going to need a calculator, so make sure that you have some kind of calculator, and preferably the same calculator that you'll use on the test, because it will help you kind of get to know the calculator and its quirks, and maybe anything you need to figure out. If you have any questions, please let me know in class so we can kind of get any issues straightened out. Okay, so the first thing that I want to point out is that your calculator needs to be in degree mode. So that looks different for every calculator. I have a TI-84 calculator, and there's a mode button, and that's the first thing that I do is just make sure that the degree is highlighted. So whatever calculator you have, just take the time right now and find that. Once you have that, you can literally just find the sine, cosine, and tangent buttons on your calculator and type those in and see what you get. This should just be a very much like plug and play problem for these three. So go ahead and do that and we'll see. Okay, so if you'll notice, this kind of freaks people out. Sometimes I want to bring that up. So it's negative because think about this. I have sine of 227 degrees. So that's in that third quadrant there. So students take out that sign is going to be negative there. So if you come up with a negative answer, don't fret about it. There's usually a reason for that. Okay, so if you'll notice, the rest of these are the reciprocal function. So what you're going to do is you're going to say 1 over and then type in. So in this case, it'd be 1 over the tangent of 109 degrees. So if you do that correctly, you should get 0.3443. So go ahead and play around in your calculator and see if you can get that one. And then I'm going to push pause and put 5, 6, and 7, the answers up. And again, this is just really getting to know your calculator and making sure that you understand the process. Okay, so I showed my work here, and the reason we have to do this is because probably not one of you have a calculator that shows like secant, cosecant, cotangent. So we're going to have to use the sine, cosine, and tangent buttons on the calculator and kind of manipulate them to what we need. So again, make sure you know how to do this on your calculator. Okay, for this section, we're going backwards. So let me give you an example of what it's talking about. So in the other section, we were given the 30 degrees, and let's say like it wanted you to find the sine of 30 degrees. Well, the sine is 1 over 2, so then my answer would be that fraction or the decimal equivalent of that fraction of 1/2. Well, now we're given this, and we're going to have to find this. So in order to do that, you are going to use the sine inverse, cosine inverse, and tangent inverse button. So find those on your calculator. They should be right around the sine, cosine, and tangent buttons. And these all find your angle measurement or theta or whatever you want to say. So let's kind of decode the directions as well. So use a calculator to find theta. That's what we're doing. We're using sine inverse, cosine inverse, tangent inverse in the interval 0 to 90. So this is that first quadrant. All it's saying, what it's telling you is don't worry about signs. I don't care if it's positive or negative. We're just going to assume that it's positive and go from there. Okay, so on number one, what we're going to do, here's the math behind it. If I multiply both sides, oops, by the cosine inverse, these cancel out, and I get theta is equal to the cosine inverse of all this. So go ahead and type that in your calculator, and you should get about 22.9 degrees. And I don't care where you round off on that one. Okay, so this one is a tricky one because it's not tangent, it's cotangent. So we are going to still have to use that tangent inverse, but we have to rewrite it first. So I'm going to say the tangent of inverse is equal to 1 over what they gave us, 1.4466474. Then I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to look at this as multiplying by the tangent inverse on both sides to cancel that out. And I get theta equals, and it should be about 34.7 degrees. Again, take the time right now to figure this out on your calculator. I also want you to try these last four problems on your own. I'm going to show my work, but I want to kind of turn you loose on that. Okay, guys, so these are my answers. I showed my work on here. Again, I don't really care where you round off, but this is that process that you do. So if you have any questions over how to type this in your calculator, please let me know. Thanks a lot.